Not every bad guy starts with darkness. Some begin with a crack, and that's where they get you. Here are 9 times we felt bad for the villain, starting with Pitch Black from Rise of the Guardians. Pitch is out here turning kids' dreams into nightmares like he's running a fear factory. But there's a reason he's acting like the universe's most dramatic shadow.
Maybe I want what you have. To be believed in.
Suddenly, the boogeyman sounds less like an ancient evil and more like a guy who tried to join a group chat and immediately got kicked out. But it's hard to make friends when your whole personality is making people shake in their boots.
Lights off again. Oh my God!
The worst part, though, is that Pitch Black wasn't always evil personified. In the book series, he was originally Cosmodus Pitchener, a hero who led the charge against the Fearlings and locked them away. But the Fearlings preyed on his only weakness, his love for his daughter, and used it to manipulate him into releasing them. They then possessed him, turning him into a being of darkness, Pitch Black. One minute, he was saving the cosmos. Next, he became the cosmos' jump scare, only for everyone to forget about him.
Meanwhile, everyone wrote me off as just a bad dream. Oh, there's nothing to be afraid of. There's no such thing as the boogeyman.
Being alone and isolated like that, it's no wonder Pitch Black went a little crazy.
To not be believed in. To long for a family.
Pitch didn't want love, he just wanted someone to remember he was there, even if the only way was through fear. But in the end...
I am the boogeyman, and you will fear me! No!
He gets forgotten again, and then it gets worse. His own nightmares smell his fear and prey on it. The boogeyman, the creature kids imagine hiding under the bed, ends up being dragged under the bed himself.
You see this L right here? Take this L, hold this L, you're going to cherish this L.
And speaking of villains who got dragged around a lot...
I broke my back.
What do you mean by that?
My back is broken.
Now, we all know Megamind as the villain turned hero, eventually, but before he earned that title, his life was basically a series of endless unfortunate events.
I didn't quite hear that last part, but it sounded important. Destined for what?
His whole species gets wiped out, his parents launch him into space, and you think, alright, surely things get better from here, right?
No way. No. Pure fiction.
Because while Metro Man lands in a posh Megamind crash lands in a prison.
Can we keep it?
Man, it really shows that half your future depends on where your spaceship decides to drop you off. The guy never even had a chance.
No matter how hard I tried, I was always the odd man out. The last one picked. The screw-up.
Oh, yikes. You know things are bad when even the kid using crutches gets picked before you. So eventually, Megamind chose the only role the world kept assigning him, the villain. Thus began his rivalry with Metro Man, and soon his entire life revolved around bothering him. Which is why, when he finally defeats him, he slips right into an existential crisis.
We have it all. Yet we have nothing.
Oh jeez, instead of celebrating his victory, he's moping like he hit backspace on his entire identity. How sad is that? In the end though, he finally earns a happy ending, which sadly cannot be said for... When Humpty Dumpty from Puss in Boots said, "I was always there," he meant always. Too much, really. But then he went too far.
Okay, I got everything. We did it. Come on, let's go!
How could you do this to me?
I did you a favor!
Yeah, right.
The guy tricked his best friend into robbing a bank with him and is somehow shocked that he's upset.
Boy, have you lost your mind, cause I'll help you find it.
But the betrayal hits more because of how deep their bond once was.
Never alone, always together.
Humpty and Puss, brothers forever.
So how does someone go from brothers forever to long estranged pals? Well, you'd think it was only because Humpty was jealous of Puss, but it's more than that.
We had a plan to get out of here, but then you became the hero and you picked this place over me.
There it is, the crack in the shell. Once, they were two orphans with nothing but each other, until Puss found a family and Humpty didn't. which is why he lashed out in ugly ways.
You stupid.
They're not.
But the bad egg finally came around after all the drama.
I'm sorry, boss. I've made a mess out of everything. I'm a rotten egg.
He finally owned up to it and made amends in the most heartbreaking way possible. Humpty! He saves the town, saves Puss, and cracks in the process, literally and figuratively. Ugh, it still hurts. Speaking of characters who cracked under years of feeling overshadowed...
Ooh. Oh. Wrong person. Sorry.
I'm surrounded by idiots.
Scar roasts everyone in The Lion King like it's in his contract to insult at least 3 people a day. And we love it. But beneath all that sarcasm, he seems irredeemable.
Long live the king.
Wow, and if that wasn't enough, he immediately orders Simba's murder so he can grab the throne. So, yeah, case closed, right? Scar's evil, period. But if you look at his backstory in The Lion Guard, suddenly you're like, oh. Turns out Scar got tricked by a mysterious lion and ended up with a cobra bite straight to the eye. Ouch! And the venom didn't just hurt, it started clouding his judgment. Imagine getting poisoned and then being expected to make emotionally healthy decisions.
It's impossible.
And when Scar runs to Mufasa for sympathy, we witness one of the worst Big Brother moments in animation history. It's no wonder he gets angry at Mufasa. And from that point on, the venom feeds on Scar's resentment like it's a buffet, twisting him into the villain we know today. Although Scar's actions aren't entirely excusable, who knows what path he would have taken if the venom had been removed in time. Maybe he wouldn't have been so twisted. Much like Lotso from Toy Story 3.
Where's your kid now, Sheriff? No!
Wow, bro betrays the others like the word loyalty never made it into his factory settings. It's hard to imagine this guy was ever a sweet strawberry-smelling cuddle bear. But back then, he did have Daisy.
They did everything together. You've never seen a kid and a toy more in love.
Hugs, picnics, tea parties, Lotso was living the peak toddler influencer lifestyle. Honestly, a better childhood than most of us got.
Knights of Columbus, that hurts!
But one misunderstanding changed everything.
But by then, it was too late.
Lotso made that long, treacherous journey home only to find Daisy hugging his replacement. And that's when Lotso slowly descends into his reputation era.
She don't love you no more. Now come on!
He could have processed his pain like a healthy plush toy. Instead, he tells Big Baby they were all replaced, even though he was the only one. Talk about projection. Lotso really said, if I go down, the whole group is coming with me. And the abandonment issues stayed with him long after.
We're all just trash, waiting to be thrown away. That's all a toy is.
They say time heals all wounds, but clearly not. Lotso took his trauma and structured the entire daycare system around it. This bear showed us how one moment of loss can twist someone's path forever, just like Jinu's life does in K-pop Demon Hunters. Demon Boy Band. That was Jinu's evil master plan to defeat Huntrix. It almost sounds ridiculous until you remember how easily we all get influenced by a catchy chorus. But he wasn't always a demon.
I left my sister, my mother, alone while I slept on silk sheets in the palace with my belly full every night.
Before the patterns and the glowing eyes, he was just a boy living in poverty who made one big mistake. But what sets Jinu apart from most villains is this.
I left them. I left them.
That remorse is proof that Jinu never wanted to be a demon. But Guima saw his guilt and decided, perfect, he's mine now. Jinu wants to fight it though, and sometimes he almost does.
I don't hear his voice.
But then Guima slams that door shut again.
Don't forget about our deal, Jinu, because I can turn those voices up.
Jinoo proves that sometimes one mistake can push you past the point of no return. And yet, in the end,
I wanted to set you free.
You did. You gave me my soul back.
he breaks free from Guima to protect the one person who believed in him. For a character introduced as a demon, that last moment had us bawling our eyes out. Jinoo wasn't the villain he looked like, just like Miguel O'Hara from Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
You're lying! I'm Spider-Man!
You're a mistake!
Oh!
With the way he chases Miles across dimensions like a multiverse cop, it's easy to label him as the villain. But then you look deeper, and suddenly the claws make sense. Imagine finding a universe where you finally have a daughter, a family, a reason to smile, and then watching that entire reality and everyone in it crumble because you didn't belong there. That trauma alone would get you a lifetime of visits to a therapist. So yeah, I see why Miguel goes to extremes.
Miles, please understand. You can't ask me not to save my father. I'm not asking.
Sir, I get that you're trying to save the universe and all, but maybe don't imprison a 15-year-old in a giant glow stick cage. But from Miguel's perspective, he had to watch his daughter die because he broke one single rule. He couldn't risk it again. And since then, guilt has become his lifelong companion. And that guilt warps his very definition of good.
We are supposed to be the good guys.
We are.
Miguel isn't trying to be the villain. In his eyes, he's the hero who's desperately trying not to let history repeat itself, no matter how many feelings or laws he has to punch through to make it happen. Much like Pobert Linksley from Zootopia 2, who would do anything for his.
I'm gonna burn it all to the ground! I'm a real Linksley!
Come on.
No.
I mean, look at him!
Not you.
The guy looks like he's 3 seconds away from passing out, yet he still tries to finish the job just to get his family's nod of approval. And that desperation leads him straight into villain territory.
I know, it's messed up, but this is my chance.
Sir, you stabbed Judy with poison just to impress your father.
Daddy, watch this. Watch this, Daddy.
That's the worst case of daddy issues I've seen in a long time. But here's the saddest part.
You don't belong in this family. You will never belong in this family.
Wow. Imagine betraying people, breaking laws, and almost dying, only to hear your father say,
"Not good enough."
At this point, even we feel bad for Pobert. Not because he's innocent, I mean, he's definitely not, but because no amount of villainy could fix the hole his family carved into him. Which goes to show that even in the darkest stories, you can't help but feel a little sad for the villains.